Players, obviously, certainly in the recruiting process, getting to know them on a personal level before bringing them in is obviously a little bit different than getting the hand that you're dealt with, when you get here. So, having an idea of their personality before they got here, and then given, the chance to work with them for the last 4 or 5 months has been good. So, me personally, um, I'm not going to say I'm overly relaxed by any means, but I'm sleeping better this time of year than I was last year at this time. So, been through it once now. I kind of got an idea of what to expect, and so for me personally, it's been a little bit better, a little smoother.
Willie, Sam talked a little bit about how things are shaping out, particularly with the weekend rotation. What are your thoughts on that with guys like Gunn and Curtis and the progression they have made, and then also Tyler Meyer being done for the year? How big of a loss do you feel that is?
I think we have a lot of options. There are a lot more options this year, which is we're confident about. Certainly with the guys we brought in, we feel that in the event that we had something extremely negative like Tyler going down, that we still are able to weather the storm a little bit. So we're excited about Ross, Christian, Owen Stevenson, Timmy Manning. We got some options that I think toward last year, if we had a guy go down, we weren't really equipped to weather that storm very well. So again, Tyler's a big blow. Well, we certainly didn't want to lose him, but he was dealing with some stiffness last year throughout the year, and it just never got better, and to the point where we had to get something done with him, unfortunately. But even with him being down, I still feel we have enough depth to be in a much better place for success.
Coach, offensively, we've talked a lot about the pitching, obviously, but offensively, with a guy like Joe, obviously not here anymore, that's a big bat, both, getting on base and power numbers. How do you guys plan on, fixing, filling that hole with a guy like him?
Well, we know we're going to have to. The big emphasis right now is just base runners, get guys on base and execute. We're going to have to. I don't want to say small ball. That's not our style. But we are going to have to execute and situationally hit. Certainly losing Lampy is a big blow. But we have guys like Luke Keishel and Nick McLean, and we got Ethan back and Toby, Will. I mean, we got and Campy. I mean, we got some firepower. It's not like we're taking a big step back, in my opinion. I think if anything, we are hopefully a better contact hitting team. Time will tell. We'll see what happens when the lights come on. But I like the way things are shaping up with it.
Sam also mentioned that Will has been on the mound. If that progresses, how does that impact where guys are around the diamond?
We'll play it as it comes, but I think just having him as an option, I laugh every time I think of Will on the mound, just because he's for the style of his game to be kind of as a finesse pitcher like he is just goes complete opposite of what you would think. So, but he really has a good feel when he's on the mound and mixes speeds and changes delivery and arm slots, and it's nice to have that option. But certainly, if we end up using him on the mound, it opens up opportunities for some of these other guys to get out there, which again, our situation this year is we have guys that are capable of playing should somebody go down, and we have some depth, which is nice. So there's guys fighting for playing time, which is a good thing.
Coach, what freshmen have you seen step up, and who do you think are going to get some immediate playing time?
There's been some, I don't want to say surprises because we knew they were going to come in and compete for playing time, but Luke Hill, New Contradas, Isaiah Jackson, Kean Vu, even Reese Beeler. Those guys are chomping at the bit to get in the lineup and making it tough on us, which is exactly what we wanted. We wanted to have to make tough decisions on who's going to play and who's going to get the lion's share of playing time. So again, that was a situation we were not in a year ago at this time, to where we felt real comfortable. Hey, if this guy goes down, we can put this guy in, or whatever. If this guy's scuffling, hey, we got guys that are ready to go, which we feel a lot better about this year.
When it comes to those newcomers and deciding who gets that playing time, what do you look for to try to make those decisions? Because
Consistency, and again, that's, as a freshman, you're going to have some freshman mistakes, from time to time. But in the instance of our infielders, when you look at Contradas and Luke Hill, it's we keep it very simple. Make the routine play, turn the double play, and if you can do that consistently and put together good at bats, you're going to play. If you can't, then we have some older veteran guys that have Johnny Weaver, Willie Cano, that they're ready to play too. So again, we're in good situation when it comes to that with guys that are ready to play in case someone stubs their toe a little bit.
Coach, what can you speak about Toby? Last year, as a freshman, stepped up, played first base. He was DHing a little bit with Connor Davis. Now it's, it looks like he's slimmed down a lot, and it's going to be his position over there first. What can you say about his development over this offseason?
Well, I'm not going to say it's his position at first. Ethan's been playing there too. But Toby, obviously coming off the year he had last year, is certainly a guy that we anticipate coming in and doing his thing again, whether that be DH or first base. He's certainly given us the idea and the flexibility now to where he's a little bit more athletic, to where if we have to put him out there defensively, we can and feel confident about it. So, the biggest thing with him is him finding his swing and making sure that that's dialed in. And it's been a little bit up and down, in the fall and even in the spring here with him, but we're hopeful he finds that the left-handed swing that we all came to enjoy last year.
Coach, with open house tomorrow, what do you want the fans and anybody attending to walk away knowing about the 2023 team this year?
Obviously, there's a lot of new faces, and to me, that's the biggest thing, is just kind of giving people the opportunity to meet these guys and see who they are and what we put together. So it's a lot of new faces, and that's partly by design, but and partly out of necessity, I think. So just giving them opportunity to see who we brought in and get a chance to meet them and know who they are and what to expect. And I think that's the biggest thing. And again, just having people around is important.
And what do you think having the alumni around kind of does for the culture, especially with the practically new roster, does to instill the culture of Sun Devil baseball into the new team? Well,
I think it just reinforces kind of what we preach about, the ASU history and family here, that, you're playing for this team, but you're also playing for the history of this place. And, to see our alumni around that are, last year the eyes were wide open when they couldn't realize how many people really are engaged with what we're doing, even though they're not here every day, but they're engaged with what we're doing. So just to reemphasize the fact that every little thing you do is important, representing the program is important, and on and off the field, what you do is you're representing something greater than yourself.
Last year, you talked about TNT as the motto. Is there an identity or a motto you're preaching this year?
Similar to that is just stay aggressive and execute. Obviously, we've kept the TNT as well, but our biggest thing is execute. No matter what the situation, you got to be able to execute. So trying to put these guys in pressure situations during practice and inter squads even, and making it difficult on them. Sometimes borderline unrealistically difficult, just so there's no excuses. You just go out and execute. I don't care if it's cold or hot or guys throwing 98 or guys throwing 68. You still have to be able to execute and get it done. So to me, that's kind of the biggest thing that we're trying to instill in these guys, that you're never going to have the situation isn't always going to be perfect. You got to go out and figure out ways to get it done no matter what.
Year two for you as head coach of this program, what do you think you learned the most year one from a coaching perspective that hopefully you can bring into year two to better this team even more?
I think preparation, a lot of it, and organizational skills. Obviously, for me, just again, every day was new last year. Something new. It was the first time I'd experienced everything last year. So, me understanding what to expect and how to hopefully prepare these guys a little bit better for opening day and for the season. Understanding that now I have an idea what a really good college team looks like and where we got to get to. And to say we're there, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see how they respond on 17th. So, but I think at the end of the day, me having an idea of what to expect is at least I know what to expect going into this.
Coach Campy, as a freshman last year, was kind of playing a little bit all over, in the outfield. Saw him behind the plate towards the end of the season, solidifying that role. Do you expect him to kind of be all over again as well this year, or is it really just him behind the dish is what you're looking for the most with him?
I anticipate him majority behind the plate. If we need to give him a rest and find a way to keep his bat in the lineup, then potentially he plays a pretty good outfield without really ever working out there a whole lot. So I'm confident to throw him out there if I have to. I'm confident to DH him if I have to. But I want him behind the plate majority of the time.
And to follow up on that, just as a freshman stepping in the way he did last year, to make sure his name to Nate Baez, who was back there a little bit too, he goes onto the Cape and has just seemed to really solidify himself. I mean, he was playing cleanup at times last year too. So what can you say about his development from last year and what that sets for this season?
He's taken on a bigger role as far as leadership is concerned, and all the success he has is a result of hard work. The kid is in here working all the time, and on his own. He's in here at 5:30, 6 in the morning in the weight room, stretching, doing his exercises, keeping his body healthy. I think you'll see a transformation in his body too a little bit. He's put on some good muscle and good mass because he knows that the expectations are for him to be behind the plate, and I think he wants to play every day back there. So as long as he stays healthy and continues to do what he's capable, I'm happy.
He and Toby kind of enjoyed some protection in the lineup last year, and wasn't a whole lot of intel on their swings, what they do well and don't. This year, I imagine they're going to be kind of the focal point of a lot of opposing pitching coaches' plans. How do you expect them to handle that?
Well, if they're focused on them, then they're not as focused on Keisha Long and Will Rogers and Nick McLean. So they still have protection around them, which will be great. And again, we got some other guys that nobody knows about yet either. So that I think will be pleasant surprises. So the biggest thing with them, they just got to be themselves, go out and do what they're capable of doing, and not try to do too much. And again, another part of what we try to preach is passing the torch to the next guy. You don't have to do everything yourself. It's a team offense versus an individual offense. So if they take that approach and stay within themselves, they're going to be just fine.
Willie, when it comes to the infield, there seems to be a lot of interchangeability. It sounds like Long is going to get some reps at first. You got Contradas a little bit, I'd assume, at the corner, and then Luke Hill maybe at short. I'd assume, with guys especially like Varnado and then Weaver and Cano outside of that, how does that speak just to the interchangeability and the versatility of your guy?
There was, I hate to keep referring to last year, but there were times last year where we just didn't have enough bodies to throw out there in the infield. We weren't going to have that same problem this year. Luke Keisha is capable of playing short. Johnny Weaver, Willie Cano, of course the two freshmen, Drake Varnado. That's like we have options that we didn't have last year. To where again, if someone stubs their toe and hiccups a little bit, we have guys ready to play. So last year we just had guys that we were throwing out there, in a lot of ways. But it's something that we wanted to do as a staff, is get more athletic and more flexible, and being able to move guys around to different positions. And on paper, anyway, we're able to do that.
Who's a leader in the clubhouse right now to take that center field job?
I think, again, we have guys capable, but, Nick McLean has done outstanding this fall and early this spring. Isaiah Jackson is very capable of playing there. Wyatt Crenshaw is an option out there. Kean Boo can play there. So we have some options, which are nice. Again, that these guys are capable of playing all over in the outfield, which is great, and we have competition for it, which is another great thing. So, if you guys get complacent, don't look over your shoulder. You got the next guy up. So to me, that's a good competition.
Coach, with Brock being a legacy, what's that say about this program?
Brock's been outstanding. He's been a guy that has come in and will do anything we ask for him to do, and closed for us quite a bit, and I think had 10 or 11 saves last year. And we see him as a guy that's going to be in high leverage situations again, one way or another, whether that's closer role, or whether that's coming in with, in a jam situation, trying to get us a ground ball or a strikeout. He's a program guy. He's a Sun Devil through and through, and he and his family they bleed maroon and gold. So it's great to have that that type of loyalty, I guess, for the program, and he's willing to do whatever it takes.
What's it like coaching him?
Easy. You just throw him out there because he's harder on himself than we are. At times we have to pull the reins back on him a little bit because he gets so worked up that he wants to do so well for the program, and it's like, man, you're all right. Just go relax and go do your thing. So he's one of those guys you don't have to kick him in the fanny. He's got the self engine inside of him that knows what to do, and he competes. So that's all I can ask.
You mentioned some of the continuity with the motto, the cultural expectations. What have some different challenges been, though, with as much roster turnover as you've been with new guys coming in? How has that sort of worked out?
Well, I mean, you're taking a bunch of guys, and that's part of the risk we knew we were taking on. Is we were going to bring a whole handful of guys and then some from different programs that have been taught different ways, and we were bringing them in and trying to conform them into Sun Devil type culture. And we knew it was going to be a challenge, but this group, from what I can tell, is very tight inside the clubhouse and get along very well, and they've adapted to the expectations in my mind pretty well. So again, at least on paper and in practice, they've adapted well. So now for me, it's just a matter of if they can keep that competitive itch once we see a team in a different uniform across the way. If we can show up and play that way when the lights come on, then we're going to be okay.
Coach, last year you had a much slower start to your non-conference schedule. You played San Diego State later in that half, but you start with them this year, and then you're going to Starkville. What stirred that change to have a more competitive non-conference?
Well, I think in order to find out where we are as a program and to prepare our guys for the postseason, we have to play a tough non-conference schedule. Our goals are obviously to win and win big, and we need to challenge ourselves and find out who we are early on. And for me, that's in the scheduling, we wanted to get on the road somewhere early and somewhere that's going to be difficult and challenging. And for all intents and purposes, Starkville is a very competitive environment, and I'm sure their fans will be excited to have us down there. So it'll give our guys a good challenge when we go on the road and find out where we got to be and where we have to get to. We put them on the schedule 3 days after they won the national title 2 years ago, and there was a reason for that. We wanted to go play the best in their hometown and find out what we're made of. So, but first things first, the focus is on San Diego State. They're going to come in and they're going to be a tough team as well. They got a lot of returning guys from last year. There was a little bit of chippiness last year when we played them down there at their place, which I'm sure will carry over here, and we'll be ready for them when they come in town.